Okay, folks. We'll see what we can get done tonight, if anything. That'll depend on you guys a lot. Computer on? Yeah, computer's on. It's a little dull looking. Light's a little dull. Well, we finished the JS2s yesterday and sealed them. Of course, I didn't glue them together, now that I think about it. They're still removable. The top hull is removable from the bottom hull. Maybe we should do that. Let me go ahead and do that. Never felt the need to really do that. Okay, there's a... Now, why am I using this stuff? Weld cement's much funner to use. Just drip some of these posts, and we should be good to go. This is the never accept flowers from a communist dude. Are you allowed to even pick flowers as a communist? Because don't they like belong to everybody? So you shouldn't, no private ownership. They can't be your flowers. Just one of the many reasons communism sucks. Okay. So both of these are Pegasus models. I've had these quite a long time. Started on them for a long time. Just never finished them. They're sealed. These 234s are not sealed. I should have sealed them at the same time, but I was trying to get stuff done before the trick-or-treaters showed up yesterday, and I forgot about that. This old BP cast pizza crap JS2, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It hurts me to look at it. I don't even want to look at the damn thing. We're going to set it aside. I don't want to spend 4 hours on it. It looks like crap. No matter what I do, it looks like crap. Okay, so we're going to take these two JS2s. Let's put them over here in the pile of... can't fit any more things here. It's getting really out of hand. I'm running out of space. That's something fierce. We're going to drop these two. We're not going to stop and put them on stands. Just run out of momentum that way. The Matilda can go over there. The A13 can go over there. just did a search today. There's nobody that makes an A13 that I want. Because I didn't want that version. I didn't want this one either. I mean, I'll paint it, but that's not the one I'm looking for. All right, so we've got these T26s that I have had for a while. I bought them on eBay really, really cheap. Probably because the person that had them originally got frustrated with them being too finicky. I don't think they're that bad. The only gripe I have about them, other than the hatch, neither of the hatches on the top of the turret open, which is kind of a bummer, is this photo etch stuff is just a pain to glue down. So, we're going to get some super glue and try to get this stuff to behave. And I believe this one's, we're going to check and see what we have left on this one. What parts are left to be put on. And then move on to the next one. Now, where are my miracle tweezers? The problem is there's this tiniest of ledges that this is supposed to attach to. The photo etch itself I don't think is very not durable. It's that you have to use super glue to glue it down. Not my favorite. Well, I picked these up. It was like it was two T26 with the conical turrets, which is this right here. Sometimes they're called T26S's. They're really T26 model 1939. Had two of those and two flamethrowers based on this T26, the later flamethrower with this type of turret. One mystery watcher. I may have to pull out the epoxy. Well, I hear the fan, but it's not blowing on me. That's no good. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. There's just not enough of a purchase area. We'll give it a shot here. Then you guys are complaining I'm taking too long. There'd have to be people like commenting on stuff to even say that. So T26s, I have two of them already with the earlier turret. Did we achieve? Maybe. Let's get the instructions out here. Make sure we didn't leave anything off this little guy. I got these really, really cheap. I got them like, I don't know, $6 for two of them. I ended up getting like 4 tanks for like $20 or something like that, shipped. And they don't come in 2-packs. They come individually like this. I only kept one box. I got 2 of these, 2 of the OT-133s, and 2 of this one. They call it here the T26-1, which is this right here. So I have 2 of these and 2 of this one in here. And I'm fine with them being all the gun turrets. I mean, I already have one flamethrower. I don't need 2 of them. I really got them for these because. All right, let's get the instructions out and see what's left to put on this thing. And we have unbuilt stuff in here as well. This is the flamethrowing tank instructions. Are both of them the flamethrowing tank instruction? Well, I think they're the same. Yeah, he's got markings for one of them in Mongolia for the flamethrowing tank, not interested. And one of them captured by the Germans, also not interested. Not interested in doing captured tanks. Let's see if the instructions are somewhere else. I know I didn't put them away. This other set is one of these things that I was putting together at the other house, and then when it was time to move, it was cram everything away. But I tend to not throw away my instructions. Not that I couldn't just go on Scalemates and grab them, but. All right, let's see what we got here. These are instructions for 85mm Russian gun. Yeah, I gotta finish that one up. Oh, this is the instructions for the world's worst kit I've ever built. It's that King Tiger from Pegasus that couldn't even glue together. Panther D from Kursk, from Zvezda. The Yag Tiger from Trumpeter. Little building. This is Plastic Soldier Company Panthers. This is a Rodin armored car. Sherman. This is that Chinese Mark IV cruiser. See, this is the cruiser that I want. Nobody makes it. I want this tank, a Mark IV cruiser, but with a Beza machine gun there instead of the 30 cal. Not the 30 cal, instead of the Vickers. Plastic Soldier Company, 76mm infantry gun. What's this? This is what I'm looking for. We have it! And here's the other instructions. Alright, I'm going to take them both together. I don't throw this stuff away. It doesn't take up any space. Not all tank kits are created equally. Wish Tamiya made stuff at 1/72nd scale for tanks. Hey, what's up? Hey! Happy Friday. Happy Friday from Tankograd. They had tens of thousands of these when the Germans invaded. Literally, they had tens of thousands of these when the Germans invaded. And in 1 year, they were like 90% of them were like gone. Between being knocked out and I just broke down because of spare parts or lack thereof. GB, are you British? Hopefully. Great Britain. Well, hopefully you don't hate things that are British, because you probably need to change your handle. Found your channel searching for Flames of War. Excellent. Well, I don't do Flames of War. I don't do 15 millimeter. I do 20s, because I like predate Flames of War. I'm older than Flames of War. This is the wrong instructions. We don't want this one right now. We don't want the flame tank. But I do like a lot of Flames of War stuff. I like their website is great. As a matter of fact, I had to paint my Italian tank the other day, and I didn't know what colors to use. So I'll go on there and I'll I won't blindly go off a cliff, but I'll take everything into consideration. No, Canadian, your gun barrel. Well, that's an interesting way to spell gun barrel. Excellent. I'm not going to say anything bad about Canada, because we went there last winter. Had a great time. So, at least that area near Calgary, Banff, that was incredible. Can't wait to go back. The rest of Canada may suck, but but not the place I went. The place I went to was awesome. So I was thinking about that the other day. It's the first country I've been to, and I've been to other countries, but it's the first country I've been to, other than the United States, obviously, that is not a third world country. And it was awesome. Okay. So let's check and make sure that we've done everything on the T26. Like I said, I put this thing together before I moved, and then it was like time to move, and I just hurried everything up. And if we're going to run into a stumbling block tonight, then I'm going to then I'll finish the SU 76s. Yeah, that store. By the way, the best hobby store I've ever been to is in Canada. That Century box is incredible, absolutely incredible. I felt like I was like back in the early 1980s. Incredible. All right, so the back of this. Oh, let's see. Obviously, we have all those parts there. We have all the suspension here, done that, yeah. We did that. We did that. We did all these little things here. This is the little exhaust thing that goes here. We put the photo etch fenders, which, like I said, I don't dislike photo etch. It's very forgiving. I just don't like how you have to glue it. If you could glue it with weld cement, awesome. But you can't. So we did that. We did all these things back here. Okay, the vent. Now, there are pieces. This is where we're at. There are pieces that attach on top of this photo etch part, and I've not done that because I couldn't get this to glue down. So that's where we are. Let me get my pencil. Where is my pencil? There it is. Well, there's not the one I was looking for, but there's not the pencil you're looking for. But there's like these little supports here. Oh, you've got to make them out of photo etch? You sick bastard. Okay, we might actually need to look at photographic evidence for this. I mean, I can do it. Worse modelers than me have put these things together. Oh, I even have it circled here, the stuff that I didn't do. Huh. What was that movie where the guy goes back in time or whatever, and he ends up writing like notes on himself? Oh, was it Memento? Right? It was Memento, where the guy has like short-term memory loss, and he ends up writing almost like tattoos all over his whole body, like give himself notes. I think that was the movie that did that. Yeah, there's items here that I haven't attached yet. Well, let's freaking attach them and see if we can do that. Okay, let's go here, and this is a photo etch sheet that we've already started messing with. Okay, and this is 41. So it's 41 here. So it's 41 times 2. Well, there's 2 of them. and it's this straight piece, and they want you to make a tube out of it. Well, that's just not very nice. And there's a couple of shovels there. Well, let's attempt to do it. Maybe we won't. Maybe it's too finicky for us to do it. But last time I did it, I didn't have one of these. And what is this? This is a cutting tip thing that I'm willing to cut on. Because I'm terrible about wanting to destroy things. Let me give myself a little bit of a height advantage. Let's get a new X-Acto blade that we're probably going to end up trashing. This one's all oily. This is actually an X-Acto blade that somebody at work. This is an actual X-Acto brand one that somebody gave me at work because they didn't have a use for it. And hopefully it doesn't come unglued, but it doesn't end up having a cruciform end. So you cannot use this thing as a poor man's pin vise. Question, your desk is raised so you can brace your arms. Yes. Interesting setup. Not judging, just curious if there's an advantage. Well, I can't paint in midair. So I have two desks, okay? This is the original desk. Before this, I had a computer desk that was lower. So what was happening is I was hurting my back. And I don't have a bad back, but you need to be comfortable doing this sort of thing. The height from the ground here is about 3 feet. So I wanted to get a desk that would go up as high as it can because you're limited with your chair how low it'll go. So if I got the measurements right, it's about 18 inches from the seat to the ground and 18 inches from the seat to here. And that's this setting. And that's the most comfortable. Like literally I can do this all night. If anything, if I have to get up, it's because I need to pee. I don't need to pee. I choose to pee because I don't want to be uncomfortable with a bladder. But I can do this all night. Now, I don't have a lot of this, but yeah, when I'm painting figures, and that's something that you gotta, whatever it is that you're comfortable doing, that's how you gotta do it. But if I'm painting, say, this desert rat, I'm going to keep my wrists rested on the edge here somewhere at all times. Is this super comfortable? And you got to have a table that doesn't move, really. This is an IKEA table that I got 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. So when I moved here, I wanted to get a second desk. Of course, they don't make this anymore. So I had to get a different IKEA one that is, it's a little wider, and it actually will crank up and down. I didn't want to get an automated one. They're too expensive for what they are, honestly, and I don't really need to raise it up much for anything. Although I have gained on my other table. It's about that one's like 2x4. This one is a little shallower than 2 feet, I think. But $100, I'll never have to buy another one. Well, I don't have to buy another one, right? I had to buy another one, but I won't ever have to replace these. And I'm real particular about protecting it. I've got one of those protecting things on here that's clear. I mean, I don't really do destructive type stuff on here anyways, but you always get a little speck of paint or something like that. So I'll get this hand sanitizer and clean it off. And then we got a cutting mat on here to also protect that, although we don't cut on this cutting mat. And this thing's like $40. I don't want to replace that, And I also don't want it looking like shit. This is about as messy as my table gets. It's not really much messier than that because I get distracted easy. So, IKEA jerker desk. Yeah, I don't know what brand this one is. It's definitely IKEA. Yeah, the other one is Crank. This, I don't know what this was named. It probably had the name of some demon or something like that. Some Nordic demon. But if you can find something at IKEA, that's the place to buy it because they're relatively well-made stuff and they're a lot less expensive than other places. But yeah, that's how I paint. I paint rested. I can't paint midair. It makes me nervous. And I always rest the miniature on the surface. Plus I hold it, and I never have any, it doesn't jump out round on me, but I've seen people like paint in the middle of midair, and I'm like, I can't do that, It's nervous. I mean, I guess I could if I had to, but why, I'm going to have to try this. So you brace your arms on your desk, found out my elbow on my desk, and paint with both hands touching. Yeah, the wrist. I usually like a corner of the wrist. Yeah, honestly, I don't think about it. It just kind of happens. Let's see. Let's say I want to paint this guy, and we've got something like this. I put some paint here, and yeah, wrist. Usually, like around this area is resting on it. But I mean, I didn't take a class or anything. It's just 40 years later, that's how I do it. You know. So, but I'm never tired of. I never get tired of painting. The only thing I've had to do recently is I always painted in corrected 20/20 vision. I'm been nearsighted since I was about 7 or 8 years old, and until I turned 46, I basically put contacts in to correct the nearsightedness and just painted in 20/20 vision. But 46 rolled around and I'm like, shit, I gotta read readers. And it's really weird for somebody who has been nearsighted their whole life to all of a sudden you can't see things because you're too close to them. That's a mind fuck. And so first I did readers, and then I got like what I call the super reader. These are just, I gotta wear these all the time. Oh, well, they don't work when you trick your contacts out. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'd put readers on. These are just plus 125s. And then I would get the 375s to get in there. And I'm finally like, let me just take my contacts out. And, so I got a built-in plus 6. So I basically paint without contacts. Because then you don't have any glare. I don't know that I'm painting any better, but I get to enjoy like all the details that the figure sculptor did more. So it's more enjoyable in a way. But then I got to put glasses on to see anything anybody typed because I'm blind as shit. I'm like great from here to my forehead, and then after this it's like Cloud City. Almost like you're drawing the paint on. Yeah, and like mixing, I mix all the time. I've just been doing it the same way since the mid-90s. I get ideas from other people, but you gotta do what works for you, so. Anyhow, so we got this cutting thing here. Let's give myself a little bit of a height advantage. And I gotta be careful. If I do this for too long, then my neck will start hurting for no reason because it's just an uncomfortable height. And let's get our Chinese X-Acto blades that aren't X-Acto blades. Yeah, we've been doing this for a while, so it's too late to change. But that's fine. I'm not trying to change anybody either, Like somebody's like, hey, why do you prime in black? Because I've always primed in black since the mid-90s. And I like it. Stop trying to change me. I don't try to change other people. Okay. I wanted to get some X-Acto blades from Amazon. But you end up like paying more for them, and they end up not being legitimate X-Acto blades. Same thing happened with razors. I'm like, man, these Gillette sensors or whatever the hell I was using at the time, Fusion blades. I'm like, man, they're too expensive. Let me try to buy them online. You get them in exactly the same packaging, but they feel like they've already been used by, a whole squad or Marines or something like that have already shaved themselves. It's like some things you just got to buy in person or find an alternative. So we're going to cut one of these off. Oh, you know what? We're not going to use this. We're going to use our old clippers. These are Hobby Lobby clippers, which are really a piece of crap, but they're okay for this sort of thing. And I'm going to go ahead and clip just these out of here. Now, I don't know why they gave me two, if it's really only one. I haven't done much stuff with photo etch at all. Okay, 40E is the one I'm going to turn into a triangle. Let's see how different it looks. Okay, cool. That one's actually subdivided. Okay, so 41's not subdivided at all. Well, let's clip this off. And let's clip this off. I do not want to use my Tamiya clippers. I don't think I have much of a choice. Let's rotate these down. Okay. Now we got two of these. We need to cut this into one. I'm just going to split it in the middle. And it snapped the end of this off. Is this two? Because it sure looks like it's one on top of the other. No? Just gives that kind of appearance. Let's see if I can cut this in half now that they're separated from each other. You know, when you do modeling, first key is don't be in a hurry. How long is it going to take? Well, we'll get done when we get done. And that's when we're going to be done. Man, it's not wanting to cut that. Okay, there we go. Now, let's take one of these. See if we can't trim this. Let's rotate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And of course I got my eyes closed. Okay. Now I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to trim this at all this way. Yeah. So let's get my little diamond. And I may realize this isn't worth fooling with, okay, at all. I mean, but I'm not there yet. Good evening, Marcus. Use the Fusion. They last a long time. Yeah, you know there's no instructions that tells you how many times you got to use them. I don't like to shave every day. I like to shave every other day. It's a waste of time. And if I grow a beard, I got to shave every day. Because you got to shave this every. It's like, it's not, nah, I'm not. I can grow a beard. I don't need to. I got nothing to prove. Marcus, what do you think about photo etch? I'm not liking this very much. This Ukrainian photo etch or whatever the hell this one. Skiff. Or as they say it over there, skiff. Covering it with my finger to make sure it doesn't go flying. Wow, this is really hard material. I'm going to get nowhere with that. Let's try this. Let's try holding it by its length. Where I'm going to put the pressure on is in the middle. think this is going to work. If you wonder, why is this guy selling this so cheap? Sometimes you'll find out what the reason is. You're very inexperienced. I had one experience with it with a Models armored terrain car. I don't have the right tools to cut bend. Excellent model though, yeah. Yeah, I know. I think I have enough stuff to be able to make it happen. Right now, I'm just dealing with a flash of this thing. I mean, I don't want to use the Tamiya cutters on this. I think they would fuck them up, to be honest with you. And those are 25 bucks. I really don't want to buy them again. Is Polish? Ukrainian? Something like that. Same thing. I don't know that I'm going to be able to cut this down any. This material is just too hard. And I'm not going to buy special tools for photo etching. I'd rather throw these in the garbage and get them from, what's his face? Yeah, it's like double thickness. And you're supposed to bend this into a tube? How the hell am I going to bend this into a tube? How the hell am I going to bend that into a tube? I use super glue, which I hate as much as I do, yeah. I don't like super. This green stuff's a lot better, but this is what I like, because I got all the patience, all the time in the world to do it. And I like using epoxy, but I just have to mix it, you know, and then you end up wasting a lot. This is really durable. I mean, it's like, this isn't going to bend on you when you don't want it to. You know, you almost need to lay this thing out. Let's try this, okay? Okay, I'm good with that. Yeah, but the problem is, how do I do the other little bend back? Like I got this as a U. Okay, we're good there. But I need it to be tubular. I don't know. What if we just don't install those? Okay, if we decide not to install these, what do I got? I got a toolbox that needs to be attached on here. Okay, we could do that. Now, there is an asterisk that says 11. Is used only for a model of the tank 726-1PT. Well, that's what this one is. Okay, so let's go grab piece 11. Here's the other turret for the other one. Well, that's not 11 at all. I don't see that as piece 11. Nothing else, right? Yeah, I don't see that piece at all. Unless it's a. Oh, tell me it's not a photo etch piece. Why would that be photo etched? It's not. $57. None of these are as low as 11. None. $37. 1923. 11's in here. And I don't see a piece that's like that. Okay, moving on. You're just checking out Iron Horse list again. Your wish list is growing. So I actually fell for something. I actually was looking on eBay and saw something, and I wasn't planning on buying it. And then they made me an offer for something. Instead of it being $15, it was $13. And I went and got it. But I'm waiting on this. I actually have a list of the stuff that I need for all the desert scenarios. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go grab that now because this is my pair of pants, and I don't want that to be washed. That what time I did was wasted. I'll be right back. Just one moment. outsmarted myself. All right, took it down. So this is the everything you need to do all the scenarios of those desert ones. Of course, I can make my own scenarios, but yeah. So you actually don't need that much stuff. You know, if this gives me too much trouble, I'm just gonna pitch it. Not pitch it, but you know, I'm not gonna let this bring me down. So this is complete. That's probably what happened. I encountered stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't know what to freaking do. So I moved on to something else. Oh, okay. This is piece 11. But to make 11, you need 37 and 38E. Okay, 37B. All right, so let's make one of those. Oh. Now, this is probably somebody sold it. Like, what have I done? Let's sell this thing. Let some other asshole have to deal with it. 37B. No. 37. Okay, right here. Let's, I'm not going to fool with the clippers. We're just going to cut it far enough away that shouldn't be an issue. Alright, so let's take... I actually have one STK of Z251 that I need. One German half-track. The German half-tracks are really rare in the desert. Oh, way too rough. This one. But that whole Matilda thing really bummed me out. It just disappointed me. It didn't bum me out. It just disappointed me. It kind of took the wind out of my sails. So, like, I don't want to do this A13 and a counter scheme and find out it's not the one that I really want to do. So I've kind of punted on that. And I haven't ordered the extra, the bags and stuff for the M10. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, let's work on what we already have, you know? You got a grant coming from Iron Horse. I think a lot of my kit will work for Gazala time frame. Okay. Well, there aren't too many pens. There aren't too many pens. There aren't too many long barrel pens or 3s at Gazala. Like less than a dozen. 37B. Okay, so that's going to go like that. All right. And 38E is that piece. Did you get one of the Coulon grants? Hey, Coulon. I actually really do like this photo etch material, so that this wants to pull out of it as well. I know they probably make special snips for this. Yeah, I don't. Oh. I don't want to go and buy all that stuff on there. I'm not going to get the use out of it. But man, this stuff is really difficult to cut. So I may actually have to do that or just set this aside. You know what? We're burning through a lot of time like it's daylight. Let's punt on this. Let's work on those SU-76s. I don't want to be like, hey, what'd you do today? Nothing, other than got nothing done. I mean, I'm not in a hurry, but we do need to get something done to feel good about it. So let's put these photo etch pieces back. Now I know why I stopped building this thing. Sometimes you think you got a good deal and you really didn't. But before I do that, I actually want to do something. I want to try something crazy. I want to do something crazy. Before I take the whole lot of these things and throw them away, I'm not talking about these. Because what I'm really enjoying is airbrushing. Why am I enjoying airbrushing? Because I really don't know what I'm doing. So I'm kind of enjoying figuring that out as I go. And it's not going badly. You know, it's not like I'm not happy with the results. So let's put these little guys away in this baggie. That's I think a really powerful tank. A Grant. And the Grant looks so much better than the Lee. Like a lot better. Bye-bye, comrade. Alright, here's the crazy thing I'm going to do. And I might get fed up with this and then do the SU-76s, but it's still early. So this is my bag of crap. These junk kits that I got from somebody else that look like somebody let their toddler in and destroyed everything. I may do the SU-76s with a winter wash. I may. This is my junk drawer. So this T70, I'm probably going to do it winter. This T70, I don't know who the hell makes this thing. 041? I don't know. It's not a whole lot of pieces. This thing's pretty much ready to go take to the airbrush land and start over with this thing's life. But look, whoever glued it, they even still have flash in between, even between the return rollers and the running gear. So, but I want to grab, yeah, and this one's fine. That Sherman's fine. But this, nope, that's the King Kong. That's not the one. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Well, I know what it is. It's a piece of shit. You know, this probably isn't worth messing with. But this little guy back here, nope, wrong one. Now, this is some kind of Sherman. This. Let's see if I can put anything of this Comet together. Or I'm just going to throw it away. I don't think I'm going to make a wreck out of it. Because I think I have about all the pieces for it. And this thing has been raped hard. It's the Matchbox. Nope. I just decided. It's paid some SU-76s. No. Chad really just kind of spoiled me. Like, no. I don't want to spend 6 hours doing this. And the problem is it's not going to look as good. I don't need one of these that badly. I'm going to repaint this T70 though. I think, but I'm going to put them in the junk baler for right now. And you know what? This JS2 is going in there too. I'm not fooling with it. No more BP cast vehicles for me. Not messing with them. Okay, SU-76s. These have the base color on them. This one has road wheels painted. This one has road wheels painted. This one has road wheels painted. They're painted on both sides. Okay, we need to do tracks. That's where we're at right now. Tracks, then we do the weathering. And then we do the numbering. My favorite part in the weathering. Now, I've seen where they painted the interiors these white. I'm not going to do it. I think it looks weird. It looks very odd. I'm not going to fall into it. It doesn't look right to me. So, let's get this German SS black, a little bit of water. Put this away. UM models are far too fiddly for making war games models. Yeah, that photo etch is really a pain in the ass. And then I'm gonna put this out here because I need to do something before I forget. And I've already forgotten. I can use the back side of this. We're gonna try these. We're going to do a test on the other counter colors. Use the AK 3rd generation and the Yale equivalents to see which ones I decide to do. Well, I want to use the AK ones. I got the AK thinner for it, but the base colors are really weird. Okay, so let's get a brush that's not too small. Something like maybe this one right here should be fine. It looks like it's got a bit of a stiffler to it. I don't know if it's been used for anything. Oh, that solved it. Oh, looks like it did have something in it. And these already had a wash on them. I have a UM Panzer 3H. It's not too fiddly. But they're expensive. Like, okay, like, I mean, I don't mind putting models together, but, you know, they take time. So if they take time, they're just going to take time from something else. Oh, man, these don't have a cute little headlamp I can paint up. Got a horn. 50 points if you know what that means. You have a daughter, you should know. Your daughter's what? 3 years younger than mine? Something like that? She's 16 or something? 17? So we're going to come in and we're going to paint as much as we can to this. Yeah, if I do a winter whitewash, it'll be after I paint it anyways. I don't think I'm going to paint the whole damn thing white. Now they actually make, AK makes a washable sand. Well, they probably made it for a while. I just found out about it today. You lose points. Don't know it. My daughter's 14 and a half. Oh, it's from, whatchamacallit? From Pingu. That little cartoon. That little, I think it's French. Little cartoon thing. Little cartoon penguin. Like claymation penguin. Aw, man. This thing's got like a... You started having kids even later than I did. And I'm not saying that we did it at the wrong time. I'm definitely a proponent of having them late instead of having them too early. This whole, oh, you gotta have kids when you're 19 and get them out of the way. No, you don't. You don't, what, you bring them into poverty? Man, you need to be able to, like, you know, support them before you go and freaking have kids. I mean, I had a much older dad. My dad was almost my age when he had me. Almost. He's a little younger. I agree. Later was better. You were 40. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. I was 33, so. Yeah, no point in having a kid when you're a kid yourself. Not a whole lot of detail on the inside of this thing. I'll tell you what, these plastic soldier companies are robust. But man, I'm having a hell of a time with that A13. Like, the only one that makes the right one is you got to get the Dan Taylor Model Works conversion on the S model A13. Like, that's a lot of, you know, you got to buy two S models, which they're relatively inexpensive. You know, they're about $10 a piece by the time you're done. But the Dan Taylor Model Works is almost 13 pounds, not shipped. I know, I could just run an S model ones, and who would know? Well, I would know. And I don't like to fool me. I have a hard time fooling myself. Like, I'm in on it, you know? So I think in the morning, I just didn't feel like painting figures. I think in the morning we'll do a test run on this desert rat. If he turns out well, we'll probably paint some Australians or Italians next. African core, something different. Your high school buddy had kids when he was in his mid-20s. Now his two boys are part of my wargaming crew. That part is great. Well, yeah, it's great for you because you weren't like in your 20s trying to pay for a child. You get to reap the benefits of that. I don't know. What if you have kids and they don't want to? Why have? What if you have boys and they're not into wargaming, man? I'm like, I'd be disappointed. Like, if I had boys, what if they grew up and they wanted to play Warhammer? Like, what the fuck, man? Get up off me. You're no child of mine. Okay, this one is disowned for playing Warhammer. Well, one of the things that's good about wargaming is it's cheap. If you play Warhammer, you just threw that out the window. Okay, any spare tracks on here yet? I'm real lazy about customizing these things. I think at some later point I can always do that. No, we're done with that one. All right. No son of mine, you Warhammer player. Or what would be worse than that? Have some kid that wants to play Catan. Like, no, I'd rather play Warhammer. Used to give them painted models when they were young, trying to influence them. They're also no Warhammer. Damn them! Well, they're not related to you. Warhammer's probably fine playing with people that you play other normal games with. But I don't want to go to a game store that's having a Warhammer event and play with those people. I've seen those folks. They're in need of some social skills. With so many people not painting those figures, that would be like really good for to do like a Field of Glory thing, like a computer game, right? Because if you just want to throw a bunch of money at it, at least play a computer game where at least things look good, But that reminds me. That one time, first time I showed up and I played with a DVA army. I brought my DVA army. Like, hey, this is my first army DVA. And then people were like, holy shit, those look good. How the hell is this your first DVA army? I said, it's not the first thing I painted, dude. It's just the first thing I painted for DVA, I mean, at that point, I already been painting for 30 years. 30 years? 25 years? Something like that. Like, if I had to paint a Warhammer kill team, they probably look pretty good. Well, I can't be into everything. But after playing with the vehicles the other day, I want them to have more detail, not less. But I also don't think you need to have a whole sheet of paper that's devoted to one vehicle. I think a lot of that stuff could be condensed. So I'm probably going to make my own sheets. DBA's 15 millimeter. Yep. Think you'd enjoy the history aspect. I did. I learned a lot of history. I learned a lot of combat history, I'd say. And I learned a lot of history too, but I already took electives in college. So it wasn't like I didn't know who the hell the Huns were. No, I didn't know shit about Paris until I played DBA. And like I wouldn't be able to tell you which successor did what, but so being able to play all those different characters was definitely helpful. But what I didn't have any idea is how little we know of that period of ancients, even Roman times. How little is just gone, like never to be found again. Not that many people wrote about it, and not that much of it survived. Okay. But whenever my daughter comes down, we're probably going to watch Rogue Heroes. Just give me some SAS guys. Let's find out what we can do with them. You watched 1 or 2 episodes of it. What is it? Is it Soda 30? Yep. You get some ice in this. I'll be right back. Not gonna ask me what I ordered though, what I fell for though, huh? I'm gonna spill the beans on myself. I can't keep that to myself. It's actually something I should have got. And it's actually one of the scenarios. That's actually why I got it. And it's something I've always liked. There's some things I've always liked from World War. Like I've always liked the Matilda. Always. I've always liked the Panther. I knew you'd tell me. SDKFZ 10. That's a good guess. 88. An 88. One of the first things I had, and I was a snotling kid, so I couldn't be trusted to build things correctly, was that Airfix thing with the SDK of Z7 and the 88 millimeter from MPC. That's right, it's MPC, not Airfix. They didn't have Airfix in the 1980s in my part of the world, in Florida. They didn't come here. It was all MPC. And I remember correctly, I had a friend of mine who had that. Didn't come with any crew. But you had it so that you could put it on the little wheels. You also take it off the little wheels and put it on the ground. So I didn't get that one because it's 1/76 scale and it's probably But I got the Italy one because it has the full crew. Because I need the crew. Because you could like pick out them, pick some of those guys off. I mean, yeah, it's got a big gun shield, but they can't all hide behind it, And a lot of this stuff is just, I build it and it's fun and we may game with it, but it's really mainly to build it and take pictures with the option of maybe playing games with them, not the other way around. But I don't have a half track. I think I'll get the STKFZ from 7 from Cletus. That's what I call anybody Cletus. I can't think of what their name is from Chad. But it's kind of hard to keep track. The STKFZ at 10. You get the STKFZ 11. You got the 7, the 9. One of those that actually made it into that half track thing. That actually looks pretty cool. Almost looks like a PSW. But I haven't, that's actually a really cool looking half track. Armored. Yeah, it's got a nice crew is what it is. It's got a whole full crew. A Dukes of Hazzard throwback. What did I say? Oh, Cletus? Yeah. Well, he's on The Simpsons, too. Yeah, Cletus. Who's the other one? Enos? I remember we ride the school bus in the late 70s in Huntsville, Alabama. And we were always pretending to be one of them. I think that was on. I don't know that I really liked that show. I did like $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman. I did like that one. As a kid. And the irony is, when they're running fast, they actually show up in slow motion. Like, isn't that like 180 degrees ironic? Not only is it ironic, it's 180 degrees ironic. Not 181, no, exactly 180 degrees. Cooter, that's right. Uncle Jesse. Redneck cops. I prefer the cop that's in Live and Let Die. Secret agent on whose side? Oh man. So anyways, we got one more episode of this show to watch that my wife and I have been watching, and we're really bummed out because we've really enjoyed it. But I heard it's a rip-off of a British show, so we may have to track the British show down, and we're British friendly. We don't mind watching foreign shit things as long as there's subtitles. Of course, we watch subtitles in American things too. So, but man, we've had some good freaking laughs with that Dinner with the Parents. Dinner with Parents, whatever it is, it's on Amazon. So we'll have to go check out the British one. Cooter. Cooter is a word I've only used in reference to that character. It's not a word I use for anything else. I'll leave that there. And of course, as a kid, really bugged me. It's like, where's this Hazard County at? Let's make believe. Why would they make believe a county? Like, use a real one. Like, nope. What do you think it was supposed to be? Like near Albany or something like that? Maybe near Columbus? Definitely the southern part of Georgia. They still show replays of that, or they can't because there's a rebel flag on the car. I don't know. Stupid show. Although the show that's not as old as that one, but along the same lines, 18. And I'm telling you, I told my daughter, I said, next time she's down for like the summer, we're going to go through the 18. Some of them are funny as shit. I mean, they're really, really funny. Yes, it's stupid, but it's really, really funny. Of course, there's so many of those old shows I'd like to, just sit there and watch. She's my TV buddy. I want to go through all the Miami Vices and all that kind of stuff. Your hometown. Your hometown is where that's from? What's your home? In Virginia? That's nothing but a bunch of Yankees in Virginia. No, you're over in the Shenandoah part, right? That's over there in the Spittoon Valley. Oh, man. I know several people that live out in the country, and I live in the country, technically, even though my neighborhood looks like a suburbia, which is what I'm used to. But it is in a small town. But, we're 15 minutes from the 150,000 people town. So, and I've worked in this town like over 30 years, so it's not like it's a weird place. Like, you're moving where? I'm moving to the place I've always worked. It's like not weird that way. And it's growing, so, I don't want to live in New York City, but I don't want to live in, Hazard County either, The A-Team was great. Never seen so much ammo expended, no hits. That's right, side to side. The banter between all those characters is really good. It's really, really funny. The interaction, the smart aleckness between them. I watched like the first season, and within the last 10 years, and it's pretty funny. I ain't getting on no plane. Yeah, it's a pretty funny show. Well, that's what this show that was on recently that I didn't know what it was about, and I've watched 4 seasons of it or whatever. What's it called? It's a good show. The one where he's a spy that gets everything pulled out from him, whatever it's called, in Miami. That's basically the A-Team, What's it called? Burn Notice. Burn Notice is basically A-Team, Except, obviously a lot more polished and a lot more violent. Except Burn Notice has multiple things going on at once, not like just like one. Actually, trying to get away is theirs, plus the little problem that you're trying to solve. Burn Notice, you got like trying to get his stuff back and helping somebody, plus another like couple different dramas or whatever. Yeah, I watched like four or 5 seasons of it. It's pretty decent, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty witty, a lot of the stuff on there. Of course, I never found out about that show until it was off the air. Which I guess is better, because you don't I'm not waiting around for the next season to watch that. They're not leaving me hanging. I'm watching another episode, Did you watch Ba Ba Black Sheep? Maybe only one episode because it wasn't on. You know, when those shows were on, it was the late 70s. In the late 70s, I was in Huntsville, Alabama, which is not a middle of nowhere town, but, you know, I don't know. Maybe everything, I feel like everything sucked in the 70s. So, you know, the only shows I watched, like I really wanted to watch, I was super into dinosaurs when I was a kid. And I would have watched as shitty as the show is. Land of the Lost. It was a shitty fucking show. Okay, but that's what was on back then. I couldn't watch it. It wasn't on and where we watched it. Either we didn't have cable or that was available on cable, or I've never lived in a town where it had a bunch of like local channels. Like if you live in New York, I don't know how it is now, but let's say you lived in New York when I was growing up in the 70s or 80s. You probably didn't need cable, right? They had an ABC station, a CBS station, an NBC station, you know, all these other ones. So everything that's played on any of those stations, you know, you had to catch it obviously when it was being played, but you had access to it, right? But when you live in a town that's a small town, you know, that doesn't show up on a globe, you get this globe of the world, and the town you live in isn't there, you know? Might have 100,000 people in it, but it's not there. You know, you're gonna have one TV station, and it might be like an ABC affiliate, and that's it. Like the town I grew up in, Gainesville, it had an ABC station only for the longest time. Then they got a Fox station for the longest time. So unless you paid for cable, and I don't remember if my parents paid for cable or not. I don't think that they did. I don't think we had cable growing up. You know, it was really limited to what we would be able to watch. You know, you had ABC, PBS, and you know, I don't remember if the Fox station was around when I lived at home. I don't know. You know, I don't remember anymore. You also watched Land of the Lost. Yeah, Land of the Lost, terrible. Yeah. That's right. You get what you get. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. I saw like one episode of Ba Ba Black Sheep. That totally would have been something I watched. Watched lots of episodes of Hogan's Heroes. Those are fun to watch with my dad. But never watched Rat Patrol. What the hell's a slee stack? Slee stack are those things that, you know, the funny thing is that's why I ended up calling those creatures in the first Doom game. The first Doom video game, throw the fireballs. I think they're technically called imps. I always call them slee stacks. You know, I don't know, just, they don't look anything like them. It's just, that's what I ended up calling them. We had names for all those things before we officially knew what they were called. A slee stack. What the hell is a slee stack? They had those damn apes. I don't know. There was this fetish that people had in the 70s about apes. Like people in like ape suits. Like that's just like a turn off for me. I'm not into apes. Sorry. Apes don't excite me. Hogan's Heroes, yeah. Hogan's Heroes was Hogan's Heroes had a laugh track, right? Probably could have done better not having one, but I guess it worked okay. And you know what? I'd really like that British, that allo if it wasn't so grainy looking, because it's actually pretty sharp. I mean, like I watched a whole season of it. And I couldn't get the girls into it. It was just a shame because it's pretty darn funny. It's funnier than Hogan's Heroes actually. Okay, so we've got the base color on all those tracks. So the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out how we're going to color these things, markings of these things. My favorite part. So I don't think I've got any preordained things that I've decided. What are all these icons that are on here? Protect your data from 61 updates available. Go fly a kite. We're not messing with that. This is not the time or place, Kato. Okay, so we're going to do a search for, I think it's technically an SU-76M. But we'll just cut it off and do SU-76 paint schemes. And we'll see if we can find some that are interesting looking. Images. What's Tamiya have to say? Technical Encyclopedia. Let's go there. They always have good. Oh, this one's got writing on it. What we got here? $14,292 built. That's a few. They built more of these than they did Stugs. Production started in December of 1942, and by January 43, the first two regiments were sent on the Volkov front. That's in the north, isn't it? Yeah. So they didn't use these as Adventurgewetter at all. Okay. Design modifications, SU-76M. Operations in the field quickly showed that this engine arrangement caused strong vibrations, which led to early failures of the engines, transmission units, often because of inexperienced drivers. And production was halted after the 360th vehicle. A pause needed to contemplate a replacement, and another expedient saw the massive use of captured Panzer IIIs and Stug IIIs converted on the field with. Oh, I'm not building an SU-76I. About 1,200 of these, and I don't like that, were fielded before the new SU-76M was ready to enter production. Mass production of SU-76M started as soon as February-March 43. Active service. First Soviet SPG, as the first Soviet SPG, the Su-76 filled 3 roles in the Red Army, well served by its speed and low ground pressure. Despite its vulnerability, light assault gun, mobile anti-tank weapon, and a mobile gun for indirect fire. It was probably good until it had to deal with a Panther. Needed to be well defended by infantry in an urban theater, since its open compartment made it highly vulnerable to grenades and improvised explosives like Molotov cocktails. That's why when you order a Molotov cocktail, you make sure you drink it all the way to the bottom. Don't leave any left, because it can be used against you. Not to mention the Panzer. Well, that's a waste of a Panzerfaust thing. It's got like hardly any armor. It's got what, 40 millimeters of armor at the most, maybe 50 on the front. In indirect fire, the ZIS-3, that's a 76mm gun that's in here, had the best maximum elevation of any other comparable SPGs and could operate to a 10.5 mile range. That's pretty good. However, the 76.2mm rounds lacked explosive power compared to 152. Yeah, well, no shit. Could fire a large range of ammo, ranging from usual armor-piercing rounds, hollow charge, high explosive, fragmentation, shrapnel, incendiary. Well, what's the difference between fragmentation and shrapnel? Technically, it's the same thing, I think. And incendiary rounds. Users, specifications, driver, commander, gunner. So 2 guys in the Oh, so the Commander's the loader on it, I guess. 120 rounds. That's a lot. Oh, front 35 millimeters. Well, maybe 50 when you put in the angle. We got some angle here on the hull. Gallery. Okay. Show me some pickies. Pixie. Winter 1942. Okay, Su-76M, early production, February 43. Unknown unit, summer 43. Belarus. 6 Guards Tank Army, Austria, April. Yeah, this is not a very good vehicle in April 45. Courageous. It has Courageous written on it. From the Trans-Baikal Front, August 45. War's over, dude. I actually like this spotted winter camo. Okay, not a whole lot of info here. Not a whole lot of ideas. Didn't see anything I really liked. Engines of the Red Army. Here's one with some funny numbers on it. Don't maybe go to Scalemates. Here's a Tamiya model. Scalemates it is. Su-76 Scalemates. Oh. Let's see who makes it. Let's look at the Tamiya kit first. See what kind of decals they give you for that. Bunch of Berlin ones. Let's download the instructions. Small A-14, East Prussia. There's a Berlin unit. Another Berlin unit. Okay. This is Zvezda. Download those instructions. Okay, here's one that's 110. What is it? Self-propelled artillery commander. Guards Lieutenant Colonel Sochinev Vasily Stepanovich. Border with Austria, March 1945. G54 here's unknown unit, spring 45. Okay, well, that's not very useful. Mini art. Never heard of mini art. That's a captured one. Oh, got one in Operation Bagration. Bragation. Bragation. That's a captured one. That's a captured one. No, I guess they're both captured. Well, that's stupid. Okay. SS model. SU-76. How about SU-76 decals? Okay, here is a 1/35th scale. SU-76M. Almost all in white. They don't give you pictures on where to put them on there. Not this one. Okay, now we're in business here. Of course, it's in Russian, so I can't tell what the hell it is. Really simple, though. See if Star or somebody like that makes them. Well, this one's cool. Look at that 3 that's on the gun tube. That corkscrew curly Q there. You'll be up early tomorrow. Okay. Well, we'll see you on here. I may cut out 2. I may need to. I may think that this might actually be worth looking into, so we can get some creative. Creative ideas. I haven't done any digging around for this at all. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut out, and we'll be back in the morning to have some ideas to decal this stuff. Okay, folks, enjoy the rest of your Friday.